In 1990, an international team of scientists started the most ambitious and expensive biological project in history. It was called the Human Genome Project. For decades, doctors and biologists had to treat the human body like a locked black box. They knew DNA existed inside our cells, and they knew it acted like an instruction manual that built our bodies, but they could not actually read the text. But when the computers finally finished printing the sequence in April 2003, the scientists did not find a clean instruction manual. They found something that broke their entire understanding of biology. Inside the human code, there were massive chunks of data that simply did not belong to a human. They did not belong to a monkey, a mouse, or any animal on Earth. When they ran this strange code through their systems, the result was terrifying. 8% of the entire human genome is made of ancient dead viruses. To understand how massive that number is, think about your own body. The genes that actually make you human, the code that builds your brain, your heart, and the color of your eyes, only take up about 1 to 2% of your DNA. The viral code inside you takes up 4 times more space than your actual human genes. You are more virus than you are human. But how did a virus get permanently coded into our bodies? To answer that, we have to rewind the clock millions of years, long before modern humans existed. Our early primate ancestors lived in a world filled with microscopic threats. Usually, when a normal virus like the flu attacks an animal, it enters the body, multiplies, makes the animal sick, and then the immune system either kills the virus or the animal dies. In both cases, the virus is eventually destroyed, but our ancestors were not fighting the flu. They were being hunted by a pathogen called a retrovirus. A retrovirus is essentially a biological computer hacker. When it attacks a cell, it does not just float around inside. It carries a special chemical tool that cuts open the host's DNA and pastes its own viral code directly into the center of the cell's operating system. It rewrites the host's hard drive. It forces the cell to stop its normal job and start building more viruses. Usually, the infected host dies. But millions of years ago, a mathematical anomaly happened. A retrovirus infected one of our ancestors, but it did not hit a lung cell or a skin cell. It infected a germ cell, a sperm, or an egg, and the ancestor survived. They healed, they mated, and they had a baby. Because the virus had pasted its code directly into the sperm or egg, the baby was born with the viral code completely locked into every single cell of its body. The virus was no longer a temporary infection, it was now inherited hardware. When that baby grew up and had its own children, the viral code was copied and passed down again. Generation after generation for millions of years, the virus simply hitched a ride. Over time, evolution broke the virus. It mutated. It lost its ability to cause disease. It lost its ability to break out of the cell. It became permanently trapped inside us. Biologists call these endogenous retroviruses. They are fossilized plagues, entombed in our genetic hard drive. But nature never wastes anything. In the year 2000, researchers in Boston were studying how human pregnancy works. A mother's immune system is incredibly aggressive. It is designed to attack and destroy any foreign object inside her body. Technically, a growing baby is a foreign object with different DNA. So why doesn't the mother's body reject the baby? The researchers looked at the placenta, the organ that protects the child. They found a specific layer of tissue that acts as a shield, fusing cells together so the mother's white blood cells cannot pass through and attack the baby. They isolated the exact gene responsible for building this shield. They named it syncytin-1. When they traced the origin of syncytin-1, they hit a wall of absolute shock. The gene was not human. Syncytin-1 is the exact same genetic code that an ancient retrovirus used to fuse itself to a host cell millions of years ago. Our ancestors hijacked the weapon of an ancient disease and repurposed it to protect their own unborn children. Without that specific virus infecting a primate millions of years ago, mammals could never give birth to live babies. We would still be laying eggs. We like to think of humans as clean, independent individuals, but the physical data proves otherwise. We are walking biological archives built from the ruins of ancient infections. And here is the final, unsettling reality. These viruses are classified as dormant. They are supposed to be permanently deactivated by our bodies, locked away in genetic chains. Yet modern neurology and oncology labs are finding disturbing new patterns. Under certain extreme conditions, like the presence of cancer, severe autoimmune diseases, or nerve conditions like ALS, the chains can break. Researchers are finding that in some patients, these millions of years old viral codes are suddenly waking up. The dead code starts glitching, attempting to produce viral proteins inside human tissue once again. The fossil is trying to breathe. We spent centuries looking out into the stars, wondering if alien life might someday invade our planet. We never realized that an ancient non-human entity already invaded us millions of years ago. It didn't just conquer us, it became us.